We don't want to be known as a chain. We actually get to know our guests. We actually get to spend time with them.
When you come into Fats, it's not the same everywhere. We have our own personality in Evans, just like they have their own personality in Lexington, South Carolina.
Whatever it takes to make our guests happy, we take the extra step.
We don't care if you're upscale, downscale, whatever the scale. As long as you're hungry and you're nice, we'd love to have you here at Fats.
I guess you could call us the Unchained Chain.
I've been waiting to say this all fall. Greenwood, Greenwood, Greenwood. We are back and better than ever. Sitting in the lounge chairs here out in the YMCA soccer field. Sitting here with my football buddies ready to go over some high school football. I've been waiting all summer for it. Y'all know who I am, Jonathan Graves, your sports host for GreenwoodTodaySports.com. And I'm joined this year with my football crew. Let's start on the left. I think everybody knows this man over here. This is Mr. Wildcat Football, Nate Daddy, Russell Patterson. I think we all know him. Russell, how you been doing?
Making it, man. Slowly but surely.
Sounds good. Ready to cover some of this Wildcats football.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting to my right, let's go down there to the far end. I think everybody knows that man. He's been with Greenwood Today for a long time. Where Shoals Football, Chris Maxey.
What's going on, John?
Going pretty good, man. How's your summer been?
Been good, man. Staying busy.
Sounds good. And now, the man that has the perfect football name, sounds like a rough football name, James Spikes with the Where Shoals Hornets. James Spikes, how you been, man?
Pretty good, man.
This your first year covering football. How's it feel?
I mean, I haven't really got a feeling for it yet, but I'm pretty excited.
Sounds good. All right, guys, let's get right down to it. I think the biggest story this year for our high school football, while we've been away, has been the coaching changes for Emerald, the Emerald Vikings, and the Greenwood Eagles. Let's start with the Greenwood Eagles. Gene Cathcart, the new man in charge, one of the Dula disciples, taking over for Dula. It was kind of a terrible end to the Greenwood High season last year. They ended 14-10 against Lexington. Tough playoff loss for them. But they come back this year. They've reloaded a little bit. They also lost some key components there. DJ Swearinger's gone. Sam Montgomery, Big Sam, he's gone. And also Byron Best. He was a speedster on the outside for him. He's gone. But they do bring back some good crew. Kelsey Quarles, he's coming back. Rand Etheridge, he returns. Marcus Felton, they're coming back strong on defense. My question is, guys, when we look at the Eagles, what are you looking for them this year, and kind of what the record's going to be for them?
Well, I see Greenwood Eagles kind of going down the same road they went last year. I think they're going to come out against Emerald. I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. I'm going to pick Greenwood to win that game. So they're going to do the same thing they did last year. I think Greenwood will come out with a big win over Emerald to get the season started, but then they're going to hit that 4-game stretch of Lexington, Dorman, who else? Spartanburg. I mean, just too many tough teams for such a young team trying to rebuild after a big team last year. Granted, yes, they are anchored very, very solidly, but Kelsey Quarles on the defensive line, but I just think there's too many people missing here, too many people missing here. Swearinger's gone, they're big playmakers, so they got a lot of big shoes to fill.
Let's talk about the Emerald Vikings a little bit. We know that they, James, you're going to be covering Emerald this year. We know that they've got a new coach also. Coach Mack, that's what we call him down here in the South. Coach Mack is building a team that lost 25 seniors from last year's team, but he does have the 2009 version of the Purple People Eaters. Say that 3 times fast. He's got Ontario Curry coming back on that line. Also a kid by the name of Mathis, last name Mathis, can't call his first name right now. Dylan Gary, he's also coming back to that team. But when you're looking at the Vikings, I think he's got the personnel. He always talks about he wants to be a physical football team. I think he can do that with that big old line he's got there. And he's also brought it back, the old-time football coach in Frank Hill. So I look for the Vikings. They want to play low-scoring games. They want to run the football, play good defense. Is that going to translate into a win this year against Greenwood High?
Against Greenwood High, that's a big question mark. But I know when I went to West Shoals, that's what we did. We outpowered other teams. We battled through the ball. And I think the power game in football is the best one because it's all about you got to man up against the other team. And who's the bigger man wins the game. So I think they should do pretty good this year with that program.
I think I feel kind of bad for the Vikings too, because the defense was, a little bit suspect last year. In breaking news, Southside just scored again against Emerald, 74-37. That was the final for that one. Most points allowed in school history, and that was the end of the Clowney era. So hopefully the defense can step up this year for the Vikings. Moving on, we're gonna go on to Abbeville Panthers. Chris, I know you know a lot about Abbeville. You kind of got a good connection down there with Jamie Nichols. I think one of the biggest questions I have for them is, can the streak stay alive? I know they brought back Darrell Run Over Me Elmore, and he also got Jimmy Thaxton coming back at quarterback. But that defense is very, very suspect. They only returned 2 starters. I think we're all in agreement that Abbeville is going to lose the game this year. So we all agree when we made those expert predictions at the beginning of the summer. If they're going to lose the game this year, Chris, which game is that going to be?
Well, I'll be honest with you, it's hard. You go through the schedule and you look at different games and you look at team matchups, but really, when it boils down to it, I think it's going to be Pendleton. Pendleton's got a tough team. They always bring a lot of players. They've always got a strong bench. I think they're going to have a tough time with Pendleton. Pendleton's always strong.
James, what about you? I think you picked them to have a loss on the season, maybe a couple of losses. And I think you got a little purple and gold, maybe, thinking they're going to lose on that trip to Ware Shoals.
Oh, yeah, they'll definitely lose against Ware Shoals High School. I'm putting it in the books now. Everybody write it down. The James Spike said Abbeville will lose to Ware Shoals by 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns.
Wow.
Okay.
Right. I'm sure Nate Daddy's got a prediction on that. He's not that too big on Ware Shoals football to begin with, but Nate Daddy, you did pick Abbeville to have a loss this year. So
I did. I believe, personally, I believe they're going to lose to Woodruff in week 3, I believe it is. Woodruff they got everybody coming back. The team that beat them and put them out of the playoffs last year. First time they played last year, everyone by a touchdown. Playoff game, which I attended, I watched that. Woodruff just dominated. Both sides of the ball, front line, backfield. Elmore couldn't do anything. I think they had a couple big plays throwing the ball, which is not their specialty. So I just think Woodruff, I think Ware Shoals game and the Pendleton game will be a close game. I think Abbeville will pull it out. But I think Woodruff will be the loss this year.
And I picked them to go, I think, 9-1 on the season, or it was either 8 or 2, 9-1. I do agree the Pendleton game is going to be tough for them. Ware Shoals game is going to be tough for them. But I'm looking at Abbeville's got to travel to Georgia twice in the first 4 weeks of the season. They're going to lose one of those games. It's just a really long road trip for them. Lincolnton gave them a scare last year. I think they'll pull it out this year. Now they're at home. They're going away to face Lincoln. Moving on, let's go to those 96 Wildcats. Nate Daddy is Mr. Wildcats.
Yes.
Wildcats football is back for the 09 season. Nate Daddy, I think you picked 96. I was looking at your records yesterday, actually. 8-2 for the Wildcats.
Yes.
They went 9-3 last year. And let me tell you something about the Wildcats. They lose 3 people on that line: Sargent, Murray, and Holly. I was looking at it yesterday. Trey Smith, unproven quarterback for the varsity level. You got to make me a believer, Nate Daddy. Kelsey Washington's gone. Barico Johnson out of the backfield. Make me a believer. Why should I be looking at the Wildcats this year?
Well, because one person only, Coach Liner. That man gets some guys in the trenches every day. They have to rebuild their offensive line. But the best part is they lost Sargent, they lost Healy, and they lost Parker. But the best part is he's always got somebody there that can step in at any time. I can't remember their names quite off the top of my head, but I know there's 3 that can step in right now and do just as well. Stud muffins, in my opinion. Just gridiron, just hit you in the mouth football. Also, they return Alex Good in the backfield, power runner but speed runner. And they also have Nathan Prater, who I believe is 6'7", 6'8", on the wing. And the difference between last year's quarterback and Trey Smith this year is I think he's a little bit more athletic than Parker Hyde was. He has the ability to scramble and make a play, as opposed to what Parker didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, if he gets rolled out of the pocket, you know what I'm saying, he could use that feet work, as Lee Corso says, and take it down the field and at least gain some positive yards.